Hi YouTube, you are watching Simple Coding. In the middle of creating new tutorial videos about system development, I decided to create this short video to talk about one general topic. This topic is around a question: can I code by examples for most of the time? This question is about a coding practice that a software developer constantly search for sample codes before writing a single line of code. These simple codes he or she may find is either from a public domain, for example, the internet, or from other existing source code he or she can legally access, for example, within the company. My answer for this question is yes, you can. I say that based on many years of experience of programming and having worked for several companies in the United States. I've done that myself as well. Based on my observation, a lot of software engineers do that too. But first, let me emphasize that you cannot copy and paste a piece of code that is proprietary, because that is illegal. Such a coding practice does make sense sometimes due to different reasons. You may be in a situation that you have to use a new language that you are not familiar with. I recall many years ago when I started to use a scripting language called Perl. I was constantly searching for examples on how to write regular expressions, which was a pretty groundbreaking feature at the time. Or even you are pretty proficient with a particular language, but you may have to write a piece of code to communicate with other part of the system that you're not familiar with, or you might have to write some low-level manipulation using that language. For example, programming sockets in C++, which could be tedious and error-prone. Or you may be working at a task that has pretty tight deadline, and you do not have time to read a lot of documents. Or this is a one-time task and you believe you may not have to write the same kind of code in the future. Or this is simply how you learn things. Based on the Corpus learning styles as experiential learning model, certain people are used to learn things by watching first. It's also okay to ask teammates for sample codes as long as you respect their time and your request meets the goal for the entire team. The sample code creator might have to clean up their code so that it's easier to understand and follow. I know some of very useful sample codes in the public domain could be confusing and convoluted sometimes. After all, I believe the creators of these samples do have goodwill to share the knowledge. Why not go one step further to make the sample a little bit better? Now you found a pretty good example and you want to just copy and paste and make some twists and done with your coding task. Well, you might want to examine the sample and try to understand it more, because you may anticipate you might have to write a similar code in the future. In case you need to debug the code later on, because the chance that the sample code meets your 100% requirements is pretty slim. You usually have to twist the sample code to make it work in your code context. It's a good practice to always study other people's code to expand your own knowledge. The more code you study, the better you become. Sometimes the study also leads to some other important information related to that piece of code. For example, one of the sample JavaScript code on Ajax might lead you to look at the jQuery, which provides good functionality to make Ajax-based communication with the web server a lot easier. In reality, you may not understand 100% of the example, but you do have a general idea what is going on with that piece of code. That's okay, and you will understand more over the time. This is one of the steps of how you become a senior. As you gain more experience, including the ability to understand other people's code quickly and accurately. So Let's go back to the original question. Can I code by examples for most of the time? My more complete answer is yes, if you do it correctly and wisely. After all, you want to not only finish your task, but also want to obtain more positive results from studying the examples. So that's it. This concludes this video. If you would like to provide feedback, please leave comments below. If you like this channel, please subscribe. Until next time, happy coding!